Survivor Ghost Island premiered on February 28, 2018, as 20 new players would get the chance to reverse the curse, as this season's theme would be centered around past mistakes of previous Survivor contestants. Each tribe had to pick a tribe leader, with Malolo choosing Brendan and Chris volunteered for Navidi. As leaders, they had to choose 2 people based off first impressions to run the course and do the puzzle, with Brendan choosing Michael and Desiree for Malolo, and Chris choosing Sebastian and Laurel for Navidi. In a twist, if the tribe leader chose to forfeit the challenge, they would still get to keep their fishing kit, but the opposing tribe would get 20 eggs, flint, and their own shelter building kit. Chris would indeed choose to forfeit the challenge after Desiree struggled at the puzzle, to which his teammates agreed with other than Dom, which would start their two's rivalry this season. On Navidi, the power struggle immediately began between Chris and Dom, but Dom would make a very key duo alliance with Wendell in this premiere. On Malolo, Jacob, feeling like he was a clear weak link, openly looked for an idol out of desperation, causing him to become an outcast within the tribe. However, after Malolo lost immunity, he was spared, as he smartly said that Malolo was the best tribe in Survivor history, giving Navidi an obvious person to send to Ghost Island without making waves. At the first Ghost Island visit, Jacob would win Sierra's legacy advantage from Game Changers, and willed it to Morgan on Navidi. He would also make a fake idol on Ghost Island, knowing he was in trouble. Speaking of trouble, the next weakest link, Jonathan, appeared to be the easy target for the tribe. However, some people viewed Gonzalez as a bigger all-round threat, especially after she campaigned really hard for Jonathan despite it already being an obvious vote. And at Tribal, her paranoia got even worse, as she started chaos right before the vote, and with that, she became the first boot of Ghost Island, getting voted out unanimously.
Gonzalez, the tribe has spoken.
Sad.
The premiere continues on with Dominic finding Navidi's idol, which was Andrew's idol from Caramoan. He tried to clear tensions with Chris, but things between the two were only made worse when he told him it was a real idol after initially saying it was fake. Speaking of fake, Jacob would tell his tribe his fake idol was real, but forgot to bring the paperwork with him, making it obviously suspicious. At the immunity challenge, James struggled big time in the water, allowing Navidi to win their second straight immunity challenge. Due to his struggles, James became the split vote target in case Jacob did indeed have an idol, while Jacob was completely out of the loop, as Stephanie used her charm to convince him the vote was on Michael. In the end, everything went to plan, as the tribe split the votes on Jacob and James, with Jacob ultimately getting sent home in a 5-2-1 vote.
Jacob, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 2 would begin with the tribe swap, with the new Malolo tribe consisting of Bradley, Brendan, Chelsea, Desiree, Jenna, Kellen, Michael, Sebastian, and Stephanie, while the new Navidi tribe consisted of Angela, Chris, Dominic, Jonathan, James, Laurel, Libby, Morgan, and Wendell. On Navidi, Dom and Chris continued to campaign for each other, but Chris's attitude wasn't gelling with the Malolos, making him the clear target. On Malolo, Bradley made it very clear how much better life was on Navidi, while Michael and Brendan would find an idol, with this being James's idol from China. At the immunity challenge, Malolo would come out on top. Since they couldn't come to a unanimous decision, Navidi would draw rocks to determine who would go to Ghost Island, with Chris getting extremely lucky, drawing the odd-colored rock. But while he did get lucked out, his luck wouldn't carry over onto Ghost Island, as he smashed the urn to nothing. So with Chris off the table, Dom and his alliance targeted Angela for being his closest ally. However, with Angela voting for Malolo, and Dom, Wendell, and Morgan voting for Angela, James realized the Malolos could put their 4 votes on one of the members in the Titan Navidi trio. And at Tribal, this plan went through, as Malolo targeted Morgan for being seen as closer to Dom than Wendell. Oh boy, how much Survivor history could have changed if they actually saw the true powerful duo within the trio.
Third person voted out of Survivor Ghost Island. Morgan, need to bring me your torch. What? Morgan, the tribe has spoken.
Despite getting blindsided, Dom and Wendell regrouped, as Dom told Wendell about his idol, and he would receive the legacy advantage from Morgan the next day. At the reward challenge, Navidi won and had Malolo draw rocks, with Kellen drawing the odd rock, sending her to the Ghost Island. Despite being allowed to play the game, she felt her vote was too important given the 5-4 Navidi majority, and didn't want to risk losing her vote. At the immunity challenge, Navidi would pull off a huge comeback, sending Malolo 2.0 to their first tribal. Navidi didn't even hide the fact that they weren't separating, so with this knowledge, 18-year-old Michael came up with a pretty good plan. But before I tell you his plan, I just gotta say what's been said a million times. How is this guy 18 years old? Seriously, he could have gotten so many girls in trouble when he was in high school. Anyway, his plan was to make Navidi believe James's idol was actually a double idol, given he got voted out with 2 idols back in China, and clearly made Bradley Malolo's target. While this obviously shook up Navidi, and especially Bradley, they stuck together and put their votes on Brendan, and unfortunately, Michael played the idol for Stephanie, and despite a good effort, Malolo lost the battle, as Brendan was voted out in a 5-4 vote.
Fourth person voted out of Survivor Ghost Island. Brendan, need to bring me your torch. Brendan, the tribe has spoken. Thanks, Jen. I'm gonna go.
After Tribal, Michael was distraught over playing his idol wrong, as now there was really not much Malolo could do. At the reward challenge, Chris's college baseball pass paid massive dividends as he dominated the challenge, winning Navidi coffee and pastries. Stephanie drew the odd rock and was sent to Ghost Island, with her urn being empty, which made her the clear outcast on Malolo. And after Navidi once again won immunity, the episode didn't even give the possibility of a Navidi flip, as Michael, Jenna, and Stephanie fought for their survivor lives. But at Tribal, Navidi saw Stephanie as the most threatening all-around player, and she was voted out unanimously in a heartbreaking vote.
Fifth person voted out of Survivor. Stephanie, that's 5, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch. Stephanie, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 5 would begin with another tribe swap, with the tribes this time going from 2 to 3. The new Malolo tribe consisted of Angela, Desiree, James, Kellen, and Michael. The new Navidi tribe consisted of Bradley, Chelsea, Dominic, Jonathan, and Libby. And then the third tribe, Yanua, consisted of Chris, Jenna, Laurel, Sebastian, and Wendell. On Yanua, Chris's massive ego continued to run people the wrong way, especially Laurel. On Navidi, Dominic saw Libby as a potential party, but also was very wary of Bradley, as he didn't want to be seen as a pair with an unlikable figure such as him. On Malolo, Angela found herself as a swing vote, since she was mad at her old Navidi members for trying to blindside her. At the immediate challenge, Malolo would continue to struggle despite their on-paper strength, sending them to Tribal. The Malolos of James and Michael campaigned for Desiree, while Desiree and Kellen campaigned for James. However, while this wasn't shown on TV, Michael actually did a lot of campaigning for James as well, as he knew James was wary of him after he voted for him at Malolo's second Tribal Council. And despite Angela actually wanting to flip on Navidi, Michael wanted James gone, and thus, he was blindsided in a unanimous vote.
Sixth person voted out of Survivor Ghost Island. James. That's 3, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch. James, the tribe has spoken.
Being the sole Malolo, Michael searched for an idol, and he would find it, with this being Ozzy's idol from Micronesia. At the reward challenge, Navidi came in first, and thus had the power to send someone from Yanua or Malolo to Ghost Island, and they unanimously agreed on Kellen since she had already been there. This time, Kellen would play the game, and won the vote steal from Game Changers that Michaela had failed to find, with it now being downgraded to just an extra vote. Despite the win, Bradley's attitude towards Dominic and Jonathan rubbed them the wrong way. On Yanua, Wendell went off looking for an idol, and he would find it, with this being the legendary Eric immunity necklace from Micronesia. At the immunity challenge, Navidi surprisingly lost, which put Libby on the chopping block, as this was their best chance to take her out before the merge. But in the end, the vote leading up to Tribal also wasn't fully shown, as Navidi actually threw the challenge to get rid of Bradley, as they were so sick of his attitude, and were scared of being linked to him at the merge. And thus, Bradley's villainous pre-merge game came to an end in a unanimous vote.
Bradley, the tribe has spoken.
Wow. Damn. That's crazy.
The 3 tribes merged on day 20, and the stage was set for the Dom vs. Chris showdown. However, Chris got very lucky, as his buff just so happened to have a clue to the idol in it, with the note telling him that the idol would be on Ghost Island, and he would go there that night. He would get JT's idol from Game Changers, but it was only good for the next tribal. However, he could extend his idol for up to 5 tribals by a game of chance. He took his chance, and would win once, but would also lose his vote at the next tribal. At the immunity challenge, Kellen won the first individual immunity of the season. After the challenge, Chris took everyone other than Dom and Wendell to strategize against the two. Unsurprisingly, most of the tribe went back to Dom and Wendell to tell them about Chris's plan to split the votes. At Tribal, Dominic played his legacy advantage, and him and Wendell made it very clear they were targeting Chris. But unbelievably, Chris decided not to play his idol, thinking that everyone on board, when in reality, basically everyone was against him, as he became the first member of the jury in a 10-2 blindside.
Chris, the tribe has spoken.
Thank you, Probst.
Libby was concerned that she was a split vote target at the previous tribal, with the Malolos in general scared that Navidis would now target them with Chris gone. At the reward challenge, the team of Angela, Chelsea, Jonathan, Laurel, Libby, and Wendell won a taco feast. At the reward, Libby questioned why she received votes at the previous tribal, with Navidi being very blunt, telling her that her alliance with Michael was too dangerous, and in general, Navidi saw Michael as the most threatening Malolo. At the immunity challenge, Angela beat out Michael to win immunity, putting him on the chopping block. The plan for the Navidis was pretty easy, and that was to split the votes on Michael and Libby. However, Michael campaigned to the Malolos and the Navidis he felt were on the bottom to flip the vote onto the threatening Wendell. But in the end, literally everyone went with the Michael and Libby split vote plan, with Michael having no choice but to use his idol to save himself, and thus, Libby was sent to the jury in a 4-1 vote.
Libby, the tribe has spoken.
See you guys.
The next day, Desiree plotted with Angela and Chelsea to side with the Malolos to overthrow Wendell and Dominic, but Laurel, who had grown super close to the two, was very skeptical. At the reward challenge, the team of Jenna, Kellen, Michael, Sebastian, and Chelsea won a helicopter flight with lunch. Angela was sent to Ghost Island and lost her vote after a game of chance. On reward, a desperate Michael campaigned to the Navides to use him as a number, but fell on deaf ears to the Navidi strong mindset. However, after Laurel told Dom and Wendell that Desiree was plotting against them, they reported this to Kellen, who was shocked, as she had been the most vocal about keeping Navidi strong. Jonathan would also find a clue to the idol, with this being the first half of Scott's idol, and he had to find the other half to make it a full idol, which he did, but this was sniffed out by the others. After Chelsea won immunity, Kellen confronted Desiree about her turning on Navidi, leading Desiree to confront Laurel about her betrayal. At Tribal, Chelsea and Desiree attempted to prove the loyalty by voting for Michael, but it was too little too late for the two, as Desiree was sent to the jury in an 8-2 vote.
Desiree, the tribe has spoken.
Ladies, y'all better keep winning.
Wanting more power, Dominic went off looking for an idol, and he found Jay's fake idol from season 33. However, this idol had not grown into a real idol, but he would be allowed to use it as a fake to trick the others. At the immunity challenge, Jeff announced that the final 10 would be split up into 2 teams, with both teams going to tribal council to vote somebody out. Chelsea won immunity for the purple tribe, with Dominic winning immunity and reward for the orange tribe. On purple, the vote was simple, as the Malolos of Jonathan and Jenna were in trouble, but the Navidis had to navigate around Jonathan's public idol and who he would play it for. In the end, they voted for the safe vote in Jenna, with Jenna literally voting for Jonathan instead of her boyfriend Seabass, and in the end, she was sent to the jury in a 3-1 vote.
Jenna, the tribe has spoken.
Orange's tribal was a lot more chaotic. Michael lied to Kellen about having an idol, and she believed it, and so she campaigned to Dom and Wendell to put their votes on Laurel as a safe vote, but Dom and Wendell were obviously not down for this, and even considered turning the votes onto Kellen instead. But at Tribal, Kellen used her extra vote to vote for Laurel twice, Michael voted for Wendell, Laurel voted for Kellen, and Dom and Wendell put their votes onto Michael, causing a 2-2 tie between Michael and Laurel, and in the end, Michael's hard-fought gameplay came to an end, going home in a unanimous 3-0 revote.
Michael, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 11 begins with the final 8 being surprised by their loved ones and would compete for a chance to spend the day with their loved ones and a feast. Seabass would win, and he chose Dominic, Wendell, and Jonathan and their loved ones to join him. But Wendell volunteered himself to go to Ghost Island since Jeff said there was for sure an advantage there, with Wendell getting Malcolm's advantage from the final immunity challenge of Philippines, as he would get 2 chances at the upcoming immunity challenge. Back at camp, the women not chosen formed a girls' alliance to go against the guys' alliance that was likely being formed at the reward. At the immunity challenge, Dominic won, and he and Wendell planned to take out Chelsea, who they felt was the biggest threat in the game. Seabass was on board, but the girls of Kellen, Chelsea, and Angela wanted to target Wendell, leaving the tight duo of Laurel and Jonathan in the middle. In the end, the two stayed loyal to their long-term foursome alliance with Dom and Wendell, sending Chelsea to the jury in a 5-3 vote.
Chelsea, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 12 begins with 6 of the 7 players being split into 3 duos, with the duo of Wendell and Dom winning a trip to a local Fijian school, along with chicken and cake. They chose Laurel to join them, where the 3 confirmed their final 3 alliance, but Laurel knew now was the time to turn on Dom and Wendell. After being sent to Ghost Island, Sebastian won Kellen's misplayed extra vote that had come back into the game. At the immunity challenge, Wendell finished in first, but Laurel shouted Jeff's name beforehand, winning her immunity. And with this win, Laurel felt it wasn't right to take out Wendell after what happened at the challenge, which left Kellen on the chopping block instead. However, Jonathan, who was not about to become a goat like Laurel, campaigned to the others to break up Dom and Wendell, but this just made him even more of a target, and his aggressive gameplay almost cost him, as he wasted his vote on Dominic. But in the end, Kellen's long-term gameplay was simply seen as more threatening than Jonathan, and in the end, she was sent to the jury unanimously after a tied split vote.
Kellen, the tribe has spoken.
The finale begins with Wendell winning immunity, and he chose Sebastian and Angela to join him on reward, which upset Laurel. When the 3 returned, Sebastian told Angela and Jonathan he would use his extra vote to take out Dominic, but Angela routed this out to the 2, making Seabass their target. At Tribal, Dominic showed off his power, as he said he had 2 idols, presenting his fake idol as a ploy to scare everyone from voting for him, and this act, combined with Angela and Laurel simply not wanting to make a move, prompted Seabass to go home in a 4-1-1 vote.
Sebastian, the tribe has spoken.
After Wendell once again won immunity, this gave him and Dom all the power, as Dom had an idol, as did Wendell. At Tribal, Dom played his idol for himself, and Wendell played his idol for Laurel, which would play a key role a couple days later, and in the end, the final 4 alliance took out the outsider Jonathan in a unanimous vote.
Jonathan, the tribe has spoken.
It's the final immunity challenge now, with Dominic coming out on top to guarantee himself a spot in the final 3. However, he had a huge choice to make, as he could obviously give up his final 3 spot and go against Wendell and Fire, as that would essentially guarantee him the victory. However, he felt it was too risky, and he chose Angela to go against Wendell, but Wendell absolutely dominated her, and thus, Angela became arguably the most forgotten final jury member in Survivor history.
And there it is. Wendell makes Fire. Wendell will join Laurel and Dominic at the final 3 tomorrow night at Final Tribal Council. Angela, the tribe has spoken.
Dom, Wendell, and Laurel now. However, it was essentially Dom versus Wendell, with both of them playing dominant games. In fact, they were so co-dominant that the jury couldn't decide who played better, resulting in a 5-5 tie. And ironically, Laurel would decide the winner with her sole vote, and in the end, her relationship with Wendell was too strong, as he was crowned the winner of Survivor Ghost Island in a 6-5 vote.
All right, I'm gonna read the votes.
What?
That's 5 votes Dominic, 4 votes Wendell, 1 vote left. Wendell. For the first time in 36 seasons of Survivor, we have a tie. The winner of Survivor Ghost Island, Wendell.
Thank you guys so much for watching this retrospective of Survivor Ghost Island. Let me know what you think of this season in the comments below, and be sure to check out my previous In Blank Minute Survivor videos as well. With all that said, take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.